Alright, here's Linda. So this is before any feedback during the swim. Good long reach. Body position is good. Leg position good. You're riding high in the water. During this section I asked you to swim at like a, moderate sort of Ironman pace. So one thing I picked up on a little bit was tempo or turnover. It could be slightly higher. It's not something you want to rush, but you might have just a little bit of an extra glide at the beginning. You do want to reach as far forward as possible, and you're doing that. That's secondary to the main fix. The main fix is what we talked a lot about. You're swimming with a straight arm style of pulling, which is the second best way to swim. The weakest way would be with an elbow slip, which you're not doing, and the strongest way would be with the high elbow catch, which we talked a lot about. Sorry for the out of focus. So from here you get to see, are your hips and legs staying in the same line as your torso? Are you twisting around at all? Is your head too high, or is your head bouncing up and down? So your legs and hips staying in the same line, that's good. So your streamline's good there. The point that you're reaching to with your hands, pretty much right in front of your shoulders, or even off out to the side slightly, which is where you want to be. So that's good. And then the line you're pulling back is pretty good. Your left arm might go a little wide sometimes, so it's possible you're giving up a little bit of a power or strength there. All right, so here's the underwater where you get to see what's going on with your hands and arms. So what I look at is the angle of the upper arm and forearm. Is there a difference there? And for you, there's not really. Your upper arm and forearm at this point we're pulling through the water, in one line. So I would call that a straight arm style of pulling. The problem with that is that the first third of the stroke, water is not really being pushed backwards or pulled backwards, it's being pushed down. And so, that 30% difference, it's not going to translate into 30% more speed, but if you can get any of that, excuse me, if you can get any of that to be pushing your body forward as opposed to pushing water down, you'll have a improvement in your speed, your power. And also with I think it's your left arm, we'll see that in the freeze frames at the end, your left hand actually tilts up slightly as you're pulling through the water. So if your hand is tilted up, you're getting even less traction with that hand. Yeah, it is your left. So that's the real main fix for you, is working on that high elbow catch. Being a little wide with the left, that's going to make some difference, but it's not as important as getting the catch angle. The catch really starts in your shoulder, so it's reaching forward and then rolling or shrugging your shoulder internally. It's a real key piece of it, and then you'll see the difference in the angle of your forearm. So what I was looking at there was the line you're pulling back, and you're doing a pretty good line of pretty good job of pulling straight back. All right, so one arm drill is one of the best ways to work on the catch. And here I was trying to have you get that hand and forearm to angle down. Not quite getting it. On some of them it's a little better here, but what you would want to see from this angle would be that hand and forearm disappear from view, meaning that they've gone vertical. And since I'm filming from above, you wouldn't really see them. Maybe a little better here, but you're getting that sort of S in out motion. and so that'll give away some of the power in the stroke as well. So just trying to slow down the stroke and really work on getting the catch a little better. There, that was pretty good. That was better. Alright, these are better. So elbow's still leading the stroke back a bit, but I'm seeing more of the vertical forearm that we were just discussing. Yeah, so the left is gonna need more work than the right. You can see how the elbow leads the stroke back here, or the hand and forearm are still visible in the first part of the stroke. So that's the key piece, is getting that hand and forearm to go vertical. Shrug the shoulder, or internally rotate the shoulder. That's the first starting point for this. Paddle drill, this is a great technique builder, and so this you're getting a better angle with that left arm. You can see the right as well. See how it's goes straight up and down when it's even with your stroke or head. So that's great. So here, just increasing the speed of the recovery a little bit. Still trying to do good catch. So this is going back to what I was talking about at the beginning of increasing your turnover rate. So you don't try to rush the pull portion of the stroke, but if you can get those arms around a little more quickly on the recovery, that's going to help as well. You may notice a bit of a increased aerobic demand doing that, but it is a good practice. So this particular 100, thinking about the catch and a little bit of an increased turnover, you swam at about 135, 136. That gives you any baseline on it. Okay, so a breakdown on the strokes here. Good reach, no problem there. Good rotation, no problem there. Body position good, and then just that straight arm, upper arm, forearm. This is before any feedback on it, but getting that hand and forearm to crack down, you can spend virtually all your drill time working on that. You don't need to worry about body position or anything. And so it's not really till halfway through the stroke where your hand and forearm get straight up and down. And then even on the push part of the stroke, that forearm, upper arm are still very much in the same line, and you do want some difference there, because that push angle would be keeping the hand and forearm at a slightly different angle than the upper arm. So I know I sound like a broken record, but that's it for you. Just working on that catch. And there you can see that left hand a little more parallel with the bottom of the pool as opposed to perpendicular. Okay, so there you have a difference in your upper arm, forearm. So that's good. And then good finish through. Hope that helps.